Hello, my friends. Welcome in to the July channel analytics review thing that we do every month on the channel. I know some of you really look forward to this, and I appreciate the feedback that you guys have given me on, hey, it's really cool that you show this and all that kind of stuff, especially with some of the stuff going on in the Football Manager community about help. Let's just leave it at that. I don't want to talk about it any further than that. But I have been really impressed with how helpful the Football Manager community has been. So they were helpful to me when I first started out, and I'm not nearly an expert. I'm not saying that. So I thought this is a way for me to show somebody like this is what is possible, and like you may even do better than I am. You know, like if you hit like a niche and it works and all that kind of stuff. So the other thing we are going to talk about is I'm going to talk about Patreon, and there's a piece of me, if I'm being completely honest, that I don't want it to feel like I'm pandering for that. Like, I appreciate the support because that's really what it is I'm so terrified of people thinking like I don't appreciate the support that I feel like maybe sometimes I overdo it. But I was blown away in June and July. Let's just say that. And I want to talk about that and how it ties into like where we are in the year and all that kind of stuff. So let's get into it. First off, the blue line is July. The orange line is June. So as you can see, we had more watch time. I mean, it's just crazy to think like essentially 200,000 minutes watched in a month. I'm like, that's a lot of watching, but only 24,900 views. Well, that's because the big drop off there technically is because the spike here in June is the Jonathan Gonzalez videos that got really popular, but you'll notice right about where that is, there's a big drop off in watch time because nobody watched the whole video because, you know, it's a whopping 4 minutes long. So, you know, if I do sometimes shorter U.S. soccer videos or just in general, you know, soccer/football videos, whatever you want to whatever you want to call it, that can drop the watch time down. But when we're doing primarily just Football Manager content or longer versions of those types of videos, the watch time goes back to what I would call normal, 8 to 9 minutes, somewhere in there. So we're kind of back to normal. It's kind of cool, right? To think that we have whatever that is, 10,400-ish views less, but we had more watch time because that means you guys actually watch the content. So thanks. But you know, when you lose 10,000 views, you lose, you know, some of the estimated revenue because you notice the revenue spiked here. I would guess it's spiking because not only are those Jonathan Gonzalez videos getting more views, and so like even if you just watch the pre-roll ad, the ad before the video, that's gonna, you know, that's 10,000 views with at least one ad, right? So even if in my Football Manager videos there might be 2 ads in the middle and one at the beginning, like that doesn't offset because of the number of views and because those views are probably going to be more US and I would guess Mexico based. Maybe more US based is my guess, and I'm gonna just put it out there that I'm guessing the ad rates on YouTube.com are higher for US than they are for, say, Norway and Denmark. It just based on the size of the country and ad rates and it being based here and all that kind of stuff. So that's just a guess. Likes up over June, awesome. Obviously dislikes went down significantly because, you know, people were upset that they thought I was trashing Jonathan Gonzalez when I was doing the actual opposite. Again, not even 4 minutes long. Couldn't watch the whole thing. Shares, pretty cool. That really helps if you like email maybe because you're old school, or fax somebody a link to my videos or something ridiculous. But I mean, what I want people to see is like, if you are getting into YouTube to make money, you are in it for the wrong reasons. At least in the short term. Like in terms of long term, yeah, maybe. Or if you're not in the Football Manager niche, which is a really, really small niche in comparison to, you know, viral videos and whatever, right? So, made $60 last month. Not anything to sneeze at, but a bit of a dip from 85. So, if we lose the comparison here, I also want to show you this. This is kind of cool. Thus far this year, give it a minute, we got 1.5 million minutes of watch time, which is, I did the math earlier, like something like 25,000 hours, which is like 1,041 days, if I remember correctly. It's just bananas. Like that is what? I'm just a dude with some low budget lights and a green screen, and I thank you for watching, right? Approaching, we should, unless August goes really poorly, we should break through 200,000 views for the year, which is cool. If we could get to, if we got like 25,000 right now, you know, there's 2 more months until maybe let's just call it 3 more months until Football Manager 2019 comes out. So that's 75 grand. So I guess that's up to 250 ish. And then if Football Manager 2019 blows up for us, then I mean we could easily get to, you know, past 325, 350. I'd love to break 500, like if something crazy happened, but it kind of depends. You're kind of dependent on that ramp up when Football Manager's next edition comes out. And again, this is important to see. I've made almost $500 this year, which is great, but in terms of the like per hour that you're making, it's horrific. So, again, like if you're in the gaming niche, like you have to be one of those that has got like 2 million subscribers type things to for this to be a reasonable income. And I do want to talk about that because again, it ties into Patreon, but I want to show you like our top videos is what I think this is kind of interesting in terms of watch time, not views, but watch time is the what if USA had a 7-tier football pyramid based off that experiment. And then Jonathan Gonzalez, some more experiments, all that kind of stuff. And then US Soccer, which is random, about pay to play. That has gotten 14,000, like, you don't notice the other How to Fix US Soccer videos, so I'm not sure what's driving. Maybe I really rank well for that, or maybe people search that a lot. I don't know. Throughout the year, US, UK, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, which makes sense based on my content, right? Nordic Journeyman, you're going to see the Nordic countries, but also a bunch of US soccer stuff, so United States is going to pop in there. And then there's a heavy population in UK that plays Football Manager. So, I think that's all I want to show you on this. And again, I'm just gonna have to get past because I think it's something that you should see, especially if you're a creator and you're like, hey, what's going on out there? My Patreon in June and July. I mean, look where we were. I mean, just look at the chart. This is crazy, and this is my share. So I think I could show you this. I don't think Patreon cares. Because I did get a question from one of my patrons. I'm like, well, hey, how much do you actually keep? Because it's been a minute since I had a video about that. So Patreon takes 5%. I'm sure it's 5.01 because it rounds up. You know, it would be 675, but that would be less than 5% or whatever. So they rounded up a penny. Whoop-de-doo. So they take 5%, and then your processing fees, it's just like if somebody pays you via PayPal and it's 2.9% plus a 35-cent transaction fee, if I remember correctly. Okay, well, if you have $1 like through PayPal, we'll take 35 cents off that. Now you're down to 65 cents, and take 2.9 cents of, or 2.9% of $1, which is 2.9 cents, call it 3 cents. You're down to 62 cents on the dollar. So that would be 38% processing fee, which is absolutely insane. But when you start having people contributing at $2, $5, $10, $15, $20, you know, like, if it's $100, which obviously I don't have anybody at $100, that would be absolutely, don't do that. It's just an example because it makes the math easy, right? Then you'd have 35 cents minus $2.90. So what is that? $3.25. So 3.25% would be your processing fee. So it kind of depends on how much people are contributing, but it's gone up, right? Because I've had more people come alongside the channel that are contributing more than $1 or $2. And so you could see when we first started, it was 85% is what I was getting, and then 87, then 88.2, and 88.64, and 89, and then it dripped a little bit, and then it went back up here, and now we're at 89.9. So essentially, you can just go like, okay, if I'm on Patreon, Gray Hair is gonna get anywhere from 80. I mean, 80, I don't think it's going to go close to 85 anytime soon. So 87 to 89 to 90% of what I'm contributing. But that's just kind of a random thing because I got that as a question. I thought I would answer that for the community. But what I really wanted to focus on is this. And right now, this shouldn't be happening. It's really, I mean, it's honestly how I feel. I'm honored because I think it's a testament to the community that we're building. And, you know, we've got this growing Discord and all that kind of stuff. And I just realized I'm doing this while I'm okay, no, never mind. I've been vacationing an experiment in the background, so I thought that might mess up the recording. I would cut that out, but you know me by now. Why would I do that? But like, okay, Football Manager 2018 came out here, so like you would expect, as views and subscriber growth and all that kind of stuff, you would expect the first 4 or 5 months to go well, right? And again, that was when I first launched Patreon and all this other kind of stuff. So it's kind of like, okay, that makes sense. Like, but you would expect it to kind of drop off, which is exactly what happened. And I'm this is not, again, I'm so worried about this feeling like a guilt trip, and it is not intended to be that. This is just me talking about my business and being open about it. So you would expect a little bit of a drop off. People's situations changes, or they stop watching because they're like, well, I've got my Football Manager fixed for this year. I'll see you in 2019 or whatever. That's fine. But this is crazy. Like, you all are crazy. We added 5 pledges in June plus $33. And that was including a pledge that went down. So, like, that's crazy. And then we added 2 more pledges. So 7 new pledges in 2 months. And we also had increased pledges. So we added $38 in support. That's crazy. Now we had somebody drop off. That's fine. Again, people's situations change. I am not trying to guilt trip people. But that is just what? Like, and it's really cool. My overarching goal, and I don't even know if I've ever said this, and I should probably do a video about it at some point with Patreon and what I'm doing on YouTube, is to eventually replace the income my wife gave up to be a stay-at-home mom. She was a teacher, and even though they're not paid great, like after taxes and health insurance and blah 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 blah, we were probably looking at like $2,000 a month. And that would be cool if I could find a way to replace that. And I'm doing that through a variety of online adventures, is what I'm calling them. So I'm working on something completely different, where I'm going to be building an online course in the financial area of life, specifically around like, okay, this is going to go a little off tangent, so you'll have to just deal with it, I guess, or just skip ahead in the video for a minute. So I'm really passionate about personal finance and not carrying debt and all that kind of stuff, and understanding interest rates and investing and all this other kind of stuff. But what I find is, over time, in most couples, there's somebody who knows a lot about money and somebody who doesn't, because you specialize, right? And I've talked to some of my close friends, and that's it's not exclusively, it's not like black and white, like one person knows nothing and the other person knows everything, right? But generally speaking, there's somebody who, like, as time goes on, they get further and further away from the average in terms of knowledge, and they know more, and even like about, hey, this is where we have accounts and how we have them invested, and this is our strategy, and blah 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 blah, right? While the other person goes like, okay, you've got that, I'm gonna specialize in these other things, like, child behavior, and like whatever, like it could be anything. And so that's kind of how my wife and I are, and came up with this question in our heads and went like, what happens if I get hit by a bus tomorrow? Would my wife know what to do? Would she know where our accounts were? Would she know, like, this is what, like, we have life insurance, like, what do I do with the life insurance money? All those types of questions. So not only the, here's how we're doing it right now, here's what we're going to do to get towards retirement and all that kind of stuff, but like, what's the emergency action plan if something tragic happened right now, right? So I'm going to take what I've learned here in YouTube land, and I'm probably going to be buying a camera also for our Football Manager series, because I want to do like a nice, like, with depth of field where it's kind of blurry in the background, like sit down and do like an info product, essentially like a course with a workbook and all that kind of stuff, and build that online and try and sell it, for $100 or $200, because the value that you're going to get through that course is going to greatly exceed what you would pay. So that's kind of a completely different thing. But my idea, the reason I'm sharing that with you, is all the things I'm doing. YouTube, where I've made $500 this year. Patreon, where you guys are giving, like, right now it's sitting at, I think it's like 20, I'm just going to check it on my phone, 20 patrons, and after all the fees and stuff, $108 a month is really helping me like go towards those goals. Now you might go like, wow, you're trying to get to $2,000 a month after, tax. Cause that was after income tax, right? So realistically, we would probably need like 20, I don't know, 25 or 100 or $3,000. So you're like, wow, like $100 isn't a lot, but like $100, I'm not saying it's life changing, but I mean, I mean, not getting emotional. I was really jazzed up. Like we were at like $87 after the Patreon fees, and all of a sudden, like we had some people come on board and increase their pledges, and I was like, "What is happening?" And I took a screenshot and I sent it to my wife. And it's cool because it's like all this work that you put in. It's not, if you are a new creator on YouTube, you can't go like, well, I'm going to make money today. You have to look at it as like a long-term thing and be consistent and all that kind of stuff. And I think I've done a pretty good job with that. And I've, been honest with you when I've needed to take a break and all that kind of stuff. But it's just really encouraging, right? To have 20 people or 21 or 22 or whatever come alongside and say like, I like what you do. It is of value to me. I'm going to throw you $3 or whatever, right? It means a lot. So because of that, and again, this is long. I don't even know how long it is right now. Oh, it's too long, but whatever. I told you in December-ish or whenever I launched my Patreon that I was going to go get my LLC, and I've not done that. It has been like a weight, like an albatross around my neck, and it's like this mental block where I just like struggled. This right here, when we jumped up and we broke through $100 after fees, I was like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I got online. I found a local lawyer. I've really struggled in my area to find a lawyer who knows what the internet is. Like, they know what the internet is, but they don't, it's not like they have a special, like, oh, I know what Twitch is, like, or I know what, people make money on YouTube. Like, it's more of like, oh, you sell stuff and like ship it, like Amazon and eBay. That's more common. And so I've really struggled to find somebody where I go like, I do stuff online and I create content and people like buy stuff from me or give me stuff, like they donate and whatever, but that's an income stream. And I want to be able to like formalize that in a business. Not many people understand that. So I think I found one, and I have an appointment later this month. In August, I have an appointment, and it's because of you all. This is just bananas. Like, again, I know I've said it like 4 times already, but like, this makes sense. This makes sense. This is a little weird in a good way because Football Manager should be winding down, right? 2018 should be winding down. Now, I've launched some new series. I think that's like, it's not like just it randomly happened, right? So we closed off the Journeyman. I still need to do like a wrap-up video, I guess. But we launched, the new Experiment. We launched Codename GHD. That got a ton of views on the first episode of that. The Experiment has gone really, really well. I really appreciate the support and all the likes and comments and stuff like that. And so I'm not saying like the Patreon pledges came from that, but we've seen traffic actually go up a little bit when it should start like going down, or at least remain consistent. So that's my goal really through now in 2019 is to, I'm not looking to go from like whatever 25,000 views to 100,000 views. Like, I don't think that's realistic. I'm looking to maintain consistency, maintain engagement with you as my viewers, keep you entertained. I've been doing a lot more skits on the Codename GHG. I bought some costume jewelry, which put glitter all over my desk. You'll have to wait for that until I can't remember if it's Monday or Wednesday when that episode comes out, but you'll see what I'm talking about. And so that's really my goal with all this. Like, I don't want to have 10 million subscribers. That would be weird. Because like people at my work would probably know about it at that point. I'm looking to have a really core audience. And then as we get the LLC formed, I'm going to need it. I'd love to know if you know somebody that does logos, because can I even get to my page from here? Obviously my logo here is something I did in GIMP. It's not, vector graphics. It can't scale. Like, I couldn't blow it up to 3,000 pixels to print it on something without it getting like blurry. So I'm going to be looking to redo my logo. And then we'll probably, I don't know if we'll do it immediately as soon as the LLC gets finished, but I'm going to have an LLC and a bank account and all this other so we start doing cool stuff, right? So I am going to be looking at some point in the future to do like a t-shirt or a mug or both. And I'm looking to do that. There's a couple different ways you could do it. Essentially, you could have like a printing company print it on demand for you, but to be completely honest with you, that is not profitable at all. It's like it's not even worth it. Like somebody, like you might pay $22 for a t-shirt and the creator gets like $3, and I go like, well, that's just silly, right? Like that doesn't make any sense. Versus if you print them in batches or something like that, and I hold the inventory here in my office, you know, you might make $8 a t-shirt or something like that at the same price. Like, and that's a significant difference, right? But I'm looking to do something cool with that, where I'd like to have it to where I can like package stuff up together and like drop a handwritten note. Like I'm really big on doing things right the first time, rather than, hey, let's take the cheapest, crappiest t-shirt and just print them off whenever, no big deal. Like, let's make $30 today. I'm not all about that. I'd rather do things of high quality that you all are going to like and enjoy, and whatever that looks like, whatever that means. Maybe it's stickers. I don't know. Like, I'd love to hear from you in the comments in terms of, hey, if you did merch, I'd be interested if you could do something like this. Like, I've got a Loki Doki mug. I freaking love it. It's awesome. It sits on my desk. It's kind of inspirational. Like, one day I'm going to have a mug. Dadgummit, you know? But first, I got to have a logo. So, working on that. And again, like the money, I spent like $20 on costume jewelry. That came out of this money that you guys are pledging, and obviously from the ads. But I'm able to do things like that, and it's really kind of starting to, okay, we're like putting down like foundational pieces now of growing this business. So that was really long and a bit, you know, I talked about a completely separate business that has nothing to do with Football Manager. So that's good. But I hope you see where I'm going, and I hope it makes sense. Like, the money that you have generously contributed is allowing me to go do things like research cameras, so I could build potentially another income stream for myself. And that's really cool. So I hope you are entertained. All of you, not just the patrons. I hope all of you are entertained. I hope, again, I'm going to say this is going to be the last time I say this on this video, because then we're going to stop and I'm going to render it. I hope you understand this is not like a pandering thing. Like, if you've never given me $1 on Patreon and you watch ads and whatever, that's great. If you hit the like button on my content, that is massive. Like, it really does help. You can't understand, really. Even from like a morale standpoint, we're like, oh man, we got 50 likes on that video. Like, oh, that's cool. Like, it really does kind of motivate. So I'm not trying to do that, but I don't want to underappreciate the people who like are throwing me not insignificant amounts of money out of their budget every month. So I feel like I have to honor that. So hopefully you see where I'm coming from there. That's been a very long roundup. The average watch time on this video is going to be like 6 minutes, because you're going to go like, okay, he went on a ramble. But again, I hope you know where I'm coming from. If you haven't, join the Discord, because we are doing a Fantasy Premier League, and there's a channel specifically set up for that with a pinned post in it that's got the league code. You have until Friday of this week, or I don't even know if you can join after the fact, but I mean, what's the fun in that, right? We're up to about 19 or 20 people, I think, right now. So come check that out. And thanks for watching my videos. You guys are, and gals, because we have like 2% of our audience is female. I don't even know what just happened there. You're awesome. So thanks for the support. We'll see you next time. I'm going to stop recording now. Goodbye.